All right, so exclusive Xbox new hardware plans begin with a gaming handheld set for later this year? Question mark. With full next-gen console targeted for 2027. Now, Microsoft first fully foray into PC gaming handhelds begins with the partner device set to launch later this year, with its own Xbox Series S/X successor now fully in production. So what they're saying here, just off the cuff here, is that they're going to come out with a handheld later this year, which in an interview with Phil Spencer, he talked about how the S, basically, if it can run on the S, then it can run on the handheld. And we never thought about that before. At least I've never thought about that before. I was like, it'd be the lowest common denominator. And if they did bring in, this is why I said the handheld wouldn't make sense, because if they brought the handheld in, they would have to parry it. And if they parry it, it'd be the lowest common denominator on the platform, right? Especially if they wanted it across the board. But in that one interview that we watched about 2 weeks ago, he said that if it runs on the S, it'll run on the handheld. And the S has been a test this entire time, which makes sense, right? And everyone calls it the potato. Here we go. So it says, here's your first glimpse at the Xbox next-gen hardware plans and some part of being executed more quickly than you might think. Okay, this article is written by Jez Gordon, by the way, who's pretty good at his rumors and sources and whatnot. Okay, the Xbox Series S generation has been a bit of an odd one. Microsoft Xbox console hardware sell-through has declined quarter over quarter for some time, but Xbox addressable monthly active users base has been skyrocketing. Owning to purchase the Activision Blizzard arm of the mobile games like Diablo Immortal, Candy Crush Saga, and Hearthstone, atop of core games like Call of Duty, World of Warcraft, Overwatch, and Microsoft Future in Gaming, is all about guaranteed. What has been a little less clear is Xbox plans for hardware. I just want to go back. We watched Destin's video yesterday, and he wanted to know why Xbox or Microsoft bought Activision, okay? And in this one sentence by Jez should tell you why they bought it, right? Owning the purchase of Activision Blizzard, armed with mobile games like Diablo Immortal, Candy Crush Saga, and Hearthstone. They're like, well, what are you doing with the mobile? That's all they wanted. That right there, let's just say if Warner Brothers owned Diablo Immortal, Candy Crush, and Hearthstone, let's just say they wouldn't be blaming Suicide Squad for the failure of everything else afterward. Because they would take that money and put it, well, no, WB would fuck it up in some way, shape, or form. Let's be honest, all right? Microsoft has been putting exclusive console games like Forza Horizon 5 onto PlayStation to help grow the profitability of its business in the near terms, addressing users where they are also far more cost-effective than Microsoft would also need to spend to acquire a new Xbox console user potentially. However, the strategy has been questioned. For long-term damage, it also might be Xbox console hardware. Microsoft appears keen to continue servicing the legacy Xbox audience with new hardware. Regardless of over the past few months, we've been working on figuring out exactly what it might look like, and here's what we've learned. Okay? First up, Microsoft is working with a PC OEM, think Asus or Lenovo or MSI or Razer, etc., on the Xbox brand gaming handheld, surprisingly slated for later in 2025. If plans are met, codename Keenan, okay, is gaming handheld will look unmistakably Xbox, we're told, complete with an official Xbox guide button. The Xbox designed sensibilities, given that these partner device similar to Lenovo's Steam OS partnership with Valve, I expect the handheld to be more PC-oriented. The Keenan is also almost definitely running Windows, putting the Microsoft Store at PS Game Pass front and centered, along with the ability to install things like Steam. So if this system comes out later this year, I don't think it's going to fly off the shelves because a lot has to go on here. What's the price point? Are they bringing this thing out and it's like $600-700, right? Not going to sell very well. Okay? Obviously, you're going to get keeping up with Joneses. You're going to sell like $1 million, $1.5 million or something like that. Okay? But for the most part, you need to eat this cost. Okay? If Xbox is losing money on their consoles, and again, these are just my opinion, right? This is my thoughts. Okay? But if they're losing $200 off of the Xbox Series X, then you can't make a handheld higher than the Series X because you're going to lose your ass on that as well. Okay? So they're going to lose the money, but they have to get people in on the ecosystem. If they can get a massive amount of people with the price point low, I'm thinking Switch price, $300, $400, okay? If it's the S, but it's portable, okay, and you could charge $300 to $400, that's the price point it needs to be to make a dent for them. They'll lose money off of it, okay? They'll lose money off of it, but acquiring new customers, okay? If you could put Steam and run Steam on the actual device through Windows, now I get to play the Xbox games, I get to play my Game Pass games on the go. I get to, even though I can do it now, but you have a dedicated device. You can play the Game Pass games. You can play all Xbox games day and date on the handheld. You get Steam on there. And if you can get Steam on there, well, guess what? You can play PlayStation games on Steam, which is on the Xbox device, okay? People would lose their mind if this has happened. If Steam is on board with this and they have something to go along with Steam with the handheld, then this will actually be very successful for them, because that is bringing something to the market that people want. Xbox could fuck this up big time, because even if they bring Steam on, but they have to make it super difficult you got to go through this thing and that thing to try to get it on, then they're going to ruin it for themselves. But if they just make it super simple, remember, people don't want to go from this to this on their computer screen, right? So the less buttons I have to press to get through the menu system, to get to Game Pass or get to Steam and run the device, the better. Convenience is what people want. This device will likely serve as the least in part of a research experience for Microsoft. Experience with Microsoft. Expect the handheld will test new Windows 11 device-aware capabilities while reducing third-party OEM bloatware, and also typical of the devices like the Lenovo Legion Go and the Asus ROG Ally. I expect Microsoft to leverage widgets on the Xbox Game Bar on PC, controlling things of TDP and fan speed, while also hopefully having more streamlined OS experience for users, for controller use, of course. Existing PC gaming OEMs will benefit from this effort as well, and the research has also helped with Microsoft's further out plan. It says, because indeed, our source also indicates that Microsoft's internal successor of the Xbox Series S and X platform has been full greenlit all the way up to the CEO, Nadella. For now, understand Microsoft's next-gen hardware plans to include premium successor to the powerful Xbox Series X alongside its own Xbox games, handheld, and several new controller options. Tentatively, these new console devices are slated for 2027, okay? So not only are they putting this next device, this is like Xbox 2.0 or 2.5, waiting for the next gen, right? So this system, S and X, came out in 2000. They don't have an upgrade system. The X is the upgraded system. They keep it at the same. Now they're bringing a handheld device to bring it in. And now think about this, right? So now there's people still on the One. There's people on the S. There's people on the X. There'll be people on the handheld. There's people on the mobile device. There's people on the television sets. There's people on PCs. And then in 2027, they're coming out with another console that's more powerful. If they're doing parity, all of these stuff that came before will be less of it. But hear me out here. Handheld comes out. It's as powerful as the S, maybe just a little bit more powerful, but then they have a more powerful box than the X. Well, then the next console is that high end, and then the low end is the handheld, which is the same as pairing with the S, right? But we'll see. We'll see how it happens. It seems that the next-gen Xbox console will be closer to Windows than ever before, reducing the amount of work developers have commit to when porting the PC. I understand that when they continue to support backwards capability with legacy Xbox games too. However, Xbox President Sarah Bond previously announced that the project team specifically designed to promote backwards and forwards capability for existing Xbox games for that end. Xbox-led Phil Spencer has teased in previous interviews a desire to support third-party storefronts on Xbox hardware to include platforms like Epic Games Store, GOG, itch.io, even with Steam itself. Every reason to presume AI will also have a role playing in the next gen, as well as Xbox Cloud capabilities. If all these things are on this one device, if it's the only device that does this type of stuff, then it'll sell really well. But if this is the first step, sort of like when they first came out with Xbox, try to be the set-top box, it was too early before its time, and now every device is basically a set-top box. Basically, that's what this is. If this comes out and has all this stuff on their handheld before everybody else, then it would be good. But if everyone comes out with a handheld device and they all do the same thing, it'd be like, buy what you prefer, because they're all going to do the exact same thing, right? Connectivity is what they've also been told, and allow players to switch them between different devices. Of course, there's also plenty of logistic issues overcoming in regards to some of these plans. Always note that the plans might change between 2027, or now and 2027. Consider the preview that also could come into pass. We also wait for the official reveal from Microsoft itself. The device on its way for Xbox fans, new and old. It says Xbox multi-device future revolves around meeting players exactly where they are, regardless of device, geographic, or playstyle. The acquisition of Activision Blizzard accelerated that vision, anchoring Microsoft as gaming company for the foreseeable future. Microsoft's slate upcoming Xbox games is stronger than ever, and the possibilities of integration between Game Pass, Battle.net, Cloud, Microsoft mobile games is also offer tantalizing potential. Think about this, right? Think about this. If the handheld comes out and it's also, like a console, and you can play, I don't know, World of Warcraft across the board with that, that's game changing. More people would buy that, okay? But we'll see. Microsoft's strategy has also de-emphasized to own an Xbox console audience as the main growth vector. However, with the successors on the brand, we've argued to previous editorials that Microsoft needs to bring the core audience along for the ride rather than leave them behind. Also, hardware plans that seem to be doing exactly that. By linking Xbox to Windows, Microsoft can also cast off the need to build a system that is completely lockstep with the PlayStation on features and power, right? As Nintendo did. Nintendo left the island to make the Switch, and everyone was like, what the fuck is the Switch? How is this going to work? And now here we are, 8 years later, and the Switch is only the third system ever to make 150 million sales and above, right? So Now Windows could be doing this with the next Microsoft handheld device or whatever it is, but we'll see how powerful it is. Okay, by linking the Xbox and Windows, Microsoft can cast off the need to build a system completely lockstep, like they said. Right. Thanks to the Xbox Series S, Microsoft has a large amount of games that could be more easily ported to handheld type system. Think about that. And again, we didn't think about it until about 3 weeks ago, but they had this thing for 5 years, and all these games that they told people have to run on the S with the X. Now, here's the plan, right? Obviously, they didn't just decide to make a handheld device. They've been working on a handheld device for quite some time. And if they've already tested and they know all of these games that run on the S will now easily move over to the handheld, well, they've already been ported. They're already working very well, and they can run on that handheld device. It's very, very nice, smart move, right? Phil Spencer playing 4D chess here, right? So it says the system also remake backwards compatibility ensures that those also developers optimize. Oh, the next gen console. Thanks for the Xbox Series S. Microsoft already has a large amount of games that can also be more easily ported to the handheld type system. The strong possibility that these features systems will also remain backwards compatible ensures that those of us who are also digitally locked into the Xbox ecosystem will have a place to upgrade to its future. Future Xbox games will likely be in the Windows-oriented, hopefully with Xbox Play Anywhere, as default licensing model. Of course, there will also still so much to be that we don't know. You can only speculate upon for now. Price, specs, features, and developer support and beyond are the future report, right? So what do you guys think, right? What do you think if they make this handheld device? Again, if it's just a Xbox, no Steam attached to it, okay? I think it's a dumb move. 100% I think it's a dumb move, okay? To get into the market of the handheld and it's just an Xbox handheld, dumb move. But if it's a handheld device that plays Steam and plays other things, 100% next level, because then people would want to buy that actual thing. Now, I still have questions, right? As they say, speculate upon now, price, specs, features. Is it just a handheld? Or is it a thing that you can lock into a dock that you can play the games on your television set, right? Or is it just a handheld? I think that's also a big selling point. Right? I think if you sell for $400 and it can lock on to a device that goes to your television set, and now it's basically a Series S, a little bit more powerful, and you can remove it and play it on the go, then that's smart. PlayStation could do the exact same thing. If I don't need to own an Xbox to use this handheld device, and the handheld device is its own thing, very smart. If PlayStation did the Portal the same way, where I don't need to own a PlayStation, I can just own the Portal, be very smart. Okay? But these are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. Please make sure you share, like, subscribe, and if you like what I do here, check out some of our other videos. Thanks for watching.